What's over there? I got you. That was not the easy way to know. That's my fault. That was my fault. I didn't mean to skate. Good boy. All right. Hello. My name is Don Hartley, and I'm known as the Catholic Defender. And I've been out here to spend a little bit of time with a horse called Moncho. As you can see, we've been having a good time. But today I wanted to give a little piece on an episode when I was in Iraq. I had just got out of a mission where I was out with the scouts. And with the scouts, we were out there in the villages, talking to the townspeople, getting good information. And after we were done, when I got to my room, I was able to ascertain that we had an individual by the name of Francis Beckwith. He was the third-rankingest Lutheran in the world, or one of the highest-ranking Lutherans in the world. And the story of his conversion to the Catholic Church. And so the following morning I went to Mass, and I was excited about that because when I would go to Mass, you know, it was a walk, 15-minute walk. I'd be in full battle rattle. I'd have my M4 in one hand and my Bible in the other hand. And when I'd get there, I'd be all hot and sweaty because it was hot in Iraq. It was definitely like 120 degrees. But when I got there, at the end of Mass, Father would usually allow me to give the upcoming events, like when the RCIA meeting would be, when the Bible studies would be. And at that point, that's when I announced to the congregation about Francis Beckwith's conversion to the Catholic Church. And as a result of that, there was an Iraqi citizen. He's not in the military, but he was a contractor for the military. Came up to Father and asked Father about it, and Father just simply referred him to me. And when I got to talking to him, he asked me this question. He asked me, "What is an apostle?" And I basically told him, well, an apostle is simply one who is sent. That is the textbook definition. But then I alluded to what Jesus did with training his apostles for three years, preparing them for when he was to leave this world and he would be resurrected. And so that was an important aspect of what we were doing as far as the church being commissioned to go to all the nations. And then he asked me, well, why do you refer to Mary as Mother of God? He referred to himself as a Nestorian Christian, which he said that they represented about 5% of the Iraqi Christians in Iraq at the time. And I basically responded, well, first of all, Nestorian Christian, first of all, just to give you a brief background, Nestorius was a Catholic bishop in the early 4th century, 5th century, that was teaching that there was a discussion about the difference of the person of Christ. The Catholic Church at the Council of Ephesus in 431 proclaimed that Jesus was one person with two natures. He was truly God, truly man. 100% God, 100% man. And so the issue was, well, was Mary just the mother of his humanity as opposed to the whole person of Christ? And so that's the way the church ruled from that apostolic tradition that was handed down. And so the Nestorian Christians that our friend was referring to would have been one that was simply rejecting the issue of what the church referred to as Mary as Theotokos, Mother of God. And he asked me, he says, why do you refer to Mary as Mother of God? And I just simply asked him another question. I said, well, what is the difference between referring to Mary as Mother of God, Theotokos, from what Elizabeth referred to as Mother of my Lord? When Elizabeth referred to Mary about why should the Mother of my Lord come to me? In the Old Testament, the Jews did not refer to Jesus or to God as Adonai. They referred to him as Adonai, which means my Lord. They didn't refer to him by name. So that was an important distinction. So my question is, what is the difference between referring to Mary as Mother of God as opposed to Mother of my Lord? And technically there is no difference. And so with that encounter, I was able to, the Iraqi Christian then became more convinced and solid in his own faith, and he began an interest in our Bible studies that we were doing. And so today's lesson basically on today is simply referring to Mary as Mother of God. When we say that, we're recognizing the incarnation of her divine Son. We're not making Mary a goddess, but we're recognizing Mary as the Mother of God, meaning that Jesus is God, the incarnation. So, with that in mind, let us continue our day and be thankful for this opportunity here in the great state of Texas. And so, with my good buddy here, Moncho, we will continue our little ride, and we hope to see you again next week.